and I'm sure a lot of folks can relate to this. I do have a bit of social anxiety. So,
Mhm.
uh, even though it may look easy, it can be quite nerve-wracking to reach out to someone, especially with a brand new idea that you don't know how it's going to be received,
Correct.
how it's going to be taken.
Hmm.
But for me, I was like, you know what? I think the right people are going to really connect with what I'm trying to do here. And
Yeah.
I only reached out to people that I know that I could trust.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to Let's Talk Sis. I'm Shekinah, your host, and as we spend time together, I can promise you three things. I'll be honest, I'll make you laugh, and I won't hold back. Let's Talk Sis is your essential girl talk destination where you'll hear about life from the perspective of a black woman in America, as our stories often go untold. I can assure you, while honest, we are a community for growth and love. Remember to like, subscribe, and share the podcast. Now sit back, relax, and let's talk, sis.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back for another episode of your favorite podcast, the best podcast out there, if you're asking me. That's Let's Talk Sis. We are back again with another guest. Every week, y'all know I'm bringing amazing, beautiful Black women to the platform just to share with us a little bit about who they are, the things that they've got going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Miss Bree Sallis. Hello, lady girl. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, Bree and I got connected through an OG guest of ours, a two-timer, Key, my hairstylist from Western Michigan. We are all Broncos, go Broncos. And so I'm excited to have her here today. I am personally very actually interested in the work that she's doing back home. One, because it's all about community. Two, because it's all about Black folks. And I love both of those things. And so before I get too much into it, let me read y'all her bio. It's time for one of my favorite segments. It's time for us to go off, sis. All right. So, Bree Salas is a trailblazing media professional, community builder, and entrepreneur who serves as the founder and president of Next Gen Young Black Professionals, aka Next Gen YBP, a vibrant membership network dedicated to advancing connection, leadership, and opportunity for young Black professionals across Kalamazoo, Van Buren, and Berrien counties in Michigan. Through her leadership, Briana has grown NextGen YBP into a thriving hub for professional networking membership, civic engagement, and cultural celebration. With a growing membership, a signature annual event series, and an evolving sponsorship program, she is creating space where Black professionals can feel empowered, supported, and seen. Briana also brings deep experience in community engagement and marketing, most recently as the former director of community engagement and project management at Midwest Family Marketing and Media, where she has led a record breaking fundraising campaign and designed impactful community initiatives as a marketing consultant with GFK Consulting LLC and as an account manager with GigSmart. She has also most recently joined United Way of Southwest Michigan as a campaign coordinator. A firm believer in pairing action with knowledge, Briana is passionate about creating platforms for authentic connection, driving equitable opportunity, and using storytelling to inspire change. She holds professional certifications in digital marketing, data and analytics, and community engagement, and was recognized with an award for the Moody on the Market's 40 Under 40 and Bold Women in Business, and an honoree for Babes Woman of the Year. Briana is also a proud member of the National Association of Black Journalists, a seasoned event strategist, and dedicated advocate for the next generation of Black changemakers. When she's not leading Next Gen YBP or empowering brands and communities, Briana loves exploring the intersection of media, culture, and entrepreneurship, and amplifying the voices of those often left out of the conversation. Welcome, girl. How's it feel to hear all of that read back to you? I always love to ask guests what they feel when you hear your
Yeah,
bio.
man, I'm like, who is that girl? Because if I still ask myself that question. Like, I can't believe that I'm in the space that I'm in now, doing the things that I'm fortunate and blessed enough to do to serve my community, to better my community.
Yeah.
And had you met me when I was still in undergrad and college and still figuring things out, I would have never imagined that I'd be sitting here talking to you,
Yeah.
having you
About
read
all
the
of that.
bio. So it's full circle and it's very surreal. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm I'm grateful. That's all I can say. I'm grateful and thankful.
Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, I just kind of did an episode and I was just saying how we as Black women are so capable and competent in doing things that I think we just do them. We just get them done. 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 And we don't often take a moment to look back and really see, girl, you done did a lot. You've done so many things, so many impactful things, and it's very impressive. So I'm honored, that you took a little time out your day, fit me in the sketch, and allowing
Yeah,
us to get into it. So
absolutely.
yes, my first question, I want to know about Next Gen YBP. Like, tell me what inspired you to start something like this? Because I'm from Battle Creek, so you ain't
Yeah.
include us on your little list of cities that counties that you're servicing, but I'm sure we can find you. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
say that no shade. I say that to say this is something that is missing, in those areas, especially for me when I was there growing up, and I'm sure that you've heard that testimony time and time again. So just tell me a little bit about your inspiration and maybe some of the vision that you see this organization taking on.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So I think for me, what started, this idea, I really had it several years ago. And I say
Mm,
that because when I first stepped into my real first ever leadership role, um, I looked around and I posed this question to myself of like, okay, who can I go to for support and for help and for questions as a young Black professional now in this leadership role that was very new to me, and that's not a bad thing. I think it's great, and young people should want to get into leadership and you know um,
mm,
want to achieve goals for themselves. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I wanted more support, and I wanted it from folks that looked like me, that had walked in my shoes, that had been there, done that before, that I could
yeah,
ultimately learn from and, take advice from and go to for questions and answers.
yeah,
So I was like, man, I couldn't really find anyone around me, at least in my immediate, neighborhood. And that's kind of what prompted me to start this community,
yep,
this network, if you will, of people that are creatives, that are community leaders, that are business owners. If you're just out here and you're wanting to better yourself, or you're wanting to take the next step in your career path and level up in that sense, I just wanted to create this community and this safe space for us to get together and to connect and to,
mhm,
learn from each other, go and ask those questions that we may not feel comfortable asking other people.
yeah,
So that's kind of what sparked Next Gen for me. And last year, it was around December, and I I was sitting down writing my goals for 2025,
Mhm.
as I'm sure most people were, resolutions, right? So,
New year, new me. Hello.
yeah, right. And so one of my goals, I just felt deeply passionate and inspired, given everything that was kind of happening at the time with our, social and political climate. I said, okay, this is the year that like I want to make a difference. I want to help people. I want to
Mm.
get connected. How do I do that? And
Mhm.
so I told myself 2025 is the year that I'm going to launch this. And so January came around and I just quietly started working on the branding and the logo and the website and everything.
Mhm.
And I thought to myself, who can I tap on for my, to help me build this group out, because it
Yeah.
is a needed resource. And so I went through my own personal networks and contacts and folks that I knew from college and
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
present day. And so I was like, man, I wonder if anyone would want to maybe help with this. And the great thing about Next Gen YBP is that we are all volunteer run as far as
Oh,
our
wow.
leadership goes.
Yeah, that's
So
very cool.
we're not, yeah, we're not paid to do any of this. We're doing this out of our own time and just we're passionate about what we do and we want to help others. And so, fast forward from January this year to July, today's
Yeah.
July, 7 months later, we are now at almost 330 members.
That's
And
insane.
yeah. And we have an e-board of I think 7 people. So, and we're all from different
Wow.
areas of West Michigan. From I'm in South Haven, so Van Buren County for me, but we have representation from Benton Harbor, St. Joe, Berrien Springs to Kalamazoo, Battle
Yeah.
Creek in there too. So
Yeah.
shout out to Battle
That's,
Creek.
yeah. You can find me on Patreon at patreon.com/LTS Sisterhood. If that doesn't work, I will be sure to put the correct link on the screen here. Thank you, Jada. And you can also go to my Instagram at she_kinda_live. And you can click the link in my bio. You will see my link tree. It has all the things that I'm saying. So back to Patreon. If you want to support the Patreon, you have the option to support the Patreon at $3, $5, or I believe there's a $10 tier. And what you're doing when you're supporting is you are supporting this production. You're supporting me so that I can turn this into a full-time career for one. Two, I can continue to give y'all quality content, not only quality in terms of what I'm talking about, but quality in terms of the visuals, the way we sound, the guests that we bring on. It's always been a dream of mine to be able to have my own podcast studio and space that not only is utilized for podcasting but a lot of other projects that I'm trying to work on. And so you supporting the Patreon allows me to bring those dreams to fruition. So again, you can support at $3, $5, or $15 a month. And what that gives you is just exclusivity. It gives you exclusive access not only to me but the Let's Talk Sis community, where we have even deeper and more personal connections and conversations, because we getting real over there. We're getting behind the cameras, we're getting into each other's business, and we're also providing support and accountability, right? I have learned in this season in my life how valuable community and accountability is, and how much I really slept on it before. And so I want to create a space for women like myself. I'm going to bring on some other really cool people that I've met and that are in this universe. You have exclusive access to that. I'm going to be dropping journal prompts in there, some prompts that I have actually written out and done myself, and we'll discuss those personally, and you can get to know that. We'll be doing lives over there. I'll probably do some like cooking classes, some cocktail making classes, some game nights, just all the things that really help, again, support community. And so your support means everything to me. No,
Oh,
that's so cool. That's so cool. And I heard you say a couple of really cool things, just one, because a lot of people, me being included, are intimidated by starting some things, right? By
yeah.
just starting to do some things. And I think you and I are fortunate in that we are marketers and creatives and digital creatives at that. So you saying, I just create the logo on the website real quick, and I'm like, oh, okay. But so many people, they're like, well, girl, you could have stopped at logo. I
Right.
that, and so um I want to encourage people, because what you also said, which I think is really important, is that you reached out to other people, right? You put yourself out there to see, hey, maybe somebody else can contribute to this dream of mine. Maybe somebody else can pour into or add an idea or a skill set or a resource in this
Yeah.
pot of things I'm trying to create. And I think that's such an I literally just talked about this. I am seeing the value in doing that, right? And putting your thing, your vision, your dream out there and saying, hey, I need somebody else to help me with this, because I was like, with this podcast, I was so committed to like figuring it all out, doing it all on my own, learning how to edit, doing the social media. And I'm still doing a lot of that stuff, but I created a podcast group to do exactly what you just said, to have somebody to lean on, to have a resource of somebody else to pour into me, give me some advice, to give me some help, give me some skill set. So I just want to encourage anybody who has an idea, to really put it out there, try, do the things, experiment, and don't be afraid to tell other people, what you have going on, when you're ready, when it's time, because ideas are precious. So tell me a little bit about that, though, that process of reaching out to these people. And I don't know if there was some nervousness or fear or whatever you were kind of feeling, because that can be scary for some people. Help us out, girl.
Yes, absolutely. And I gave you the short version, right? But for
Yeah.
me, you know, and I'm sure a lot of folks can relate to this, I do have a bit of social anxiety. So,
Mhm.
uh, even though it may look easy, it can be quite nerve-wracking to reach out to someone, especially with a brand new idea that you don't know how it's going to be received,
Correct.
how it's going to be taken.
Hmm.
But for me, I was like, you know what? I think the right people are going to really connect with what I'm trying to do here. And
Yeah.
I only reached out to people that I know that I could trust
Yeah.
and people that I knew. Um, and if they said no, that's okay. It's not the end of the
Mhm.
world. Like we'll still be friends. We'll still be,
Yeah.
you know. Um, so it was no hard feelings. Not everybody that I asked could commit to being on the leadership team, and that was okay. It was
Yeah.
no pressure. But
Mhm.
the folks that did, I will start with our vice president, Shokwe Pitchford. He is a Berrien County commissioner, an executive director of his own nonprofit. And so he's kind of my right hand person, assisting me
Mhm.
with so many things behind the scenes, from
Mhm.
governance to executive and finance.
Mhm. Girl,
Our,
I don't know nothing about that.
and I'm
But
learning as well. So,
hey, I'm here for it. Listen, I really love talking to smart people. So the
oh
more
my God.
words you say that I don't know, the more I'm like, no, what that mean? No, how you do
Yeah.
that? No,
Yeah.
what's a governance?
Yep. Yep. So when it comes to our leadership team, we have an executive board, which we call an e-board for short.
Mhm.
Uh, and we're the ones that are really out here making things happen in the community when
Yeah.
it comes to hosting our events, which
Mhm.
I'll tell you about later. But we're hosting events. We're actually spreading the word to recruit members and letting people
Yeah.
know that we're out here and we exist.
Mhm.
So they help with everything from marketing, communications to events and
Mhm.
professional development with, actually building out our programming and our workshops that we plan to have. So it
Yeah,
takes a
very
team,
cool.
it takes a village to make this stuff
Yeah.
happen. I know, a lot of people may think that it's
Uh-oh.
me, behind the scenes and in front, but trust me when I say it's like a whole team of folks that are really supporting and helping me out. So,
Okay, so I want to ask you, you said that you've grown to over 300 members in the past 6, 7 months. What
yeah.
do you think, aside from the need, right? Because there's a need, but aside from that, what do you think are some factors contributing to your growth and rapid growth at that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, now that we're post COVID, right? And
Mm-hmm.
as we all know, during COVID, we couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't really see
Yeah.
anyone. We couldn't, hang out in person. So now that we've, thankfully started to move out of that phase, I think people now more than ever are just looking to get out and meet people in person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we have the apps and, the online, the virtual, this and that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not the same. It's just not the
Correct.
same. And so
Correct.
when we get these opportunities to see each other, to connect with each other, especially with people that look like us, that have been through what we've been through, that can help, support us in our endeavors, like we
Mhm.
want more of that. And so, I've got, gosh, I've spent years putting together virtual and in-person events throughout my professional career, and every time it always goes back to that sense of community, right? Like being together
Mhm.
in a space with a shared interest or shared values, like nothing beats that. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, we just had our first in-person event for Next Gen YBP, which was called Vibes After Five. And so,
Yes.
yeah, and so,
I hate that I couldn't come.
no, it's okay. Hopefully the next one, because we're gonna be in Kalamazoo next. So if you're in there,
Girl,
then
I'm in a whole nother state.
oh
It's
dang, okay,
okay.
that's
I'm
okay.
I'm a, I'm gonna get flued out. Listen, when y'all get
Yeah,
them corporate contracts, the big sponsorships, and you need a host or a branding strategist to come through and speak, I'm
yeah,
here. I'm there. I'm booked. I'm in there.
okay. I've got some ideas in mind, so I'm
I
gonna have.
actually also have some ideas too. We could talk about that offline.
Oh yes, okay, I'm here for it. Yeah, no, we're our first event was really fun,
Hmm.
and it was small, it was intimate, and that's okay because
Yes.
event. We're just starting out. But
Hmm.
as with any new initiative, you have to start from somewhere. So
Correct.
I think going back to our point earlier, it's like when we're first starting out and we have something going, whether it's a project or a business, we want it to take off. Like we want to
Yeah.
see instant results. Who doesn't? Right?
Hmm.
But that's not realistic. I think it
Correct.
really takes time to build a community. It takes effort over time and intention. So that would be my point of advice as well to anyone who's trying to start something new. You have to be patient.
Tell me about it. What have you learned, Brie, about yourself in starting this venture? Because if you would have asked me, I would even say like 2 years ago, about
Yeah,
being an entrepreneur, I'd be like, girl, oh no, I'm not doing that. And mind you, you still have a job, right? You still have a job. I do not. Okay. Or
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, maybe you don't. A lot can happen in the day. But I
Yes.
I would have never considered honestly starting a company from the ground up. or a business or a community or anything, from the ground up. I was always the girl who was building my resume, right? I was a good employee. I was a good team player. I was getting the skills. I went to school, to work my way through the corporate ladder because I needed that deposit every Friday, every other Friday, however y'all want to do it, right? As long as it's there on time. Okay.
Yes.
Now, by choice, by force, by choice, by force, and there's a little bit of both. I was pushed into a situation that I'm actually learning to love and
Yep.
really enjoy making an income, making not quite a living that I want yet, but being able to make an income from skills, talents, tools that I have put together, packaged up, however I do it, and somebody wants it, right? It builds, it boosts your confidence. It gives you a level of discernment, I think, that is very powerful, right? I don't need to do this. I do need to do that. It builds that faith. Okay, it's gonna flex that faith muscle. Like, these are all kind of things that have come from me personally trying to create something again from the ground up. So I'm just curious to like what you've learned about yourself and maybe how you've grown in some areas as well, because you mentioned you were socially awkward, but you started this networking group where people do nothing but socialize. So, tell me the things a little bit about how you've seen yourself a little bit more.
Yeah. You know, if you had met me in undergrad, I was a completely different person. And not to say that in a negative sense, because I think you learn from every iteration of who you are. And
Yes.
there's no point in shaming who you used to be. You just learn and you grow, right?
Yeah. Remind me to come back to that. But yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's a whole conversation. Um, but yeah, if you had met me in college, again, I was very shy. I didn't have real confidence, at least not in the sense that I have now.
Mm.
And you talk about discernment, I didn't have that either, right? But now I do.
Mm.
And so that absolutely came with every single experience that I've taken on. And I,
Ooh,
God, in
got
college,
chills.
I think I started off in, going for nursing, like nursing. And I didn't ever anticipate I would end up in marketing of all things. But, I switched into marketing because it just felt right for me. And I ended up really enjoying it. I love being able to help clients and to help businesses solve problems creatively
Yeah.
and strategically. And so that's become my bread and butter. And, I also worked at a nonprofit for a few years as well. So that really kind of sparked my interest in community. And
Mm.
so from then on, I ended up working in a radio broadcasting company. We're more of a full service consulting agency,
Mm-hmm.
media and marketing, but we do radio as well, which that, if anything, will put you out of your comfort zone for sure.
Yeah.
So, there were times where, I had to, record a commercial and hear my voice, and you'd be like
Mm.
cringing a little bit, if you've ever
I
heard yourself.
hate the sound of my voice. I don't rewatch podcasts. I don't
Yeah,
I don't want to.
yeah, yep,
That's all. I don't need to do it. I know what it sounds like, and it doesn't
yeah,
sound like what it sounds like. So I don't know what's
yeah,
happening.
yes.
You can always buy me a coffee. You can visit buymeacoffee.com/let's talk sis. Again, I will put the link on the screen as well as in the description of this show. And buying me a coffee is just your one-time support, two-time support, however many cups you want to buy. It's your opportunity to support the platform at whatever level you find appropriate. Again, so we can help to bring all those things to fruition.
That is so common. And I
Mhm.
was the same way. Like, I did not want to hear my own voice, but over time, I think that was me being afraid of my own voice.
Yes.
And so, again, being a Black woman, young Black woman in leadership, there's not very many of us out there in general. And I told myself, okay, if I want to grow in being a leader, I cannot be afraid of hearing my own voice, literally and metaphorically. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I had
Dang, Bree.
you know what I mean? Like, you got to learn how to advocate for yourself, man, because people ain't going to always do it for you. And so, again,
Yeah.
over time, you just kind of develop that thick skin, you develop a little bit of a backbone, and you learn what you will tolerate and what you won't.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And in turn, you develop that real confidence that sticks with you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, gosh, yeah, we need more than an hour to talk about all of those.
Who you telling? No, because
Yeah.
you just hit me like a ton of bricks. I know I said this podcast is for the people, but it's really for me, y'all. It's really for me because I don't want to hear I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, but what you're saying is very true. It's so true. Even the episode I just recorded before this, I was talking about my 10 commandments
Yeah.
and how I'm going to show up in life, relationships, experiences, whatever. And one of them is I will be kind to myself. And I didn't realize until what you just said about you have to advocate for yourself that me saying I hate my voice is not being kind to myself. It's really not, and I don't like the way it sounds or whatever I say. It's not living that out and if I don't want to hear myself, hang it up,
Right.
throw it away. No, who's going to do the same thing for me? So I really appreciate that, and that's very helpful. You said a lot of things. I took some notes.
Aw.
Okay. one was just about the voice, and it's funny you say that too, because at the beginning when you were speaking, I grew up being told I sound like a white girl all my life. Okay. I went to Lakeview, which is an all white school. I went to Endeavor, which is another all white school. And I went to Western, which is pretty much a majority white school. And so that literal overcoming and confidence of my voice has truly been a thing for me, and having to defend, well, I actually just sound like myself. And I'm not a white girl. So I don't know where this, and over time you get to maturing and understanding why people say that. But it's still, it's still a little thing inside of you, and so it's interesting you had that experience with radio where you kind of had to deal
Yeah.
with it. You had to figure it out, embrace it, work with it, rock with it, and make it do what it do. And you
Yep.
also mentioned confidence in marketing. I didn't realize this until recently how much I lacked confidence in that. I went to school for it, and for me, fortunately, it was one of those things I kind of, I won't say always, but relatively young, I figured out that's what I wanted to do. I was in high school. I wanted to do
Yeah.
marketing. I wanted to do campaigns. I wanted to do colors. I wanted to do pictures and
Yep.
formats and layouts, right? But then you get into the real world and people are like, that's silly. Okay, girl. I remember saying, and now it just drives me insane. I
Yep.
remember being in school and I was like, my first job out of school, I want to make $60,000 a year. Mind you, that's nothing. That's $0. Like
Yeah.
nobody's living off of
Yeah.
60,000. But for a job fresh out of college, everybody looked at me like I was crazy. Everybody looked at me like, you're not making that much. People don't do that. And again, I didn't know nobody in marketing. I didn't know nobody in advertising. I didn't know nobody in sales, really.
Right.
So then, you graduate, I graduate, and I start working in sales. I started working at Enterprise, car rental. And
Okay.
it is very much sales. Like it's very much sales, it's very much on a matrix, it's very much how much insurance did you sell today? What's your numbers? Send in your numbers. I hated that. Like I
Yeah.
absolutely hated that. And fast forward now, I started a business as a branding strategist. And it's not until now that I really have, thank you, confidence that what I do actually helps people a lot. It is actually very valuable and necessary, and so it took, like you said, every one of those experiences to really, oh shoot, this thing that's been here this whole time is what I need to lean into. And to round it out, my last point of what you mentioned is honoring your old self, in that I just turned 30 on Monday. And so all month I've been wearing, yes, I'm in the club, women in their 30s. Hey. Thank you. But I wore black all month. And it was a silly thing, but also not. But another one of my commandments is I will live in joy and make life special. So I was like, well, I'm gonna wear black all month to honor my old self, because like you said, it's not that she was wrong or bad or a terrible person, but she's just not who I am anymore. She was who she was. She had her experiences. She made the choices she made, right? And all of that has led me here. And there's a side of me that is very sad because I loved her and who she was and is and all of that. But there's a part of me that's like ready to pack it up. I wrote a letter. I'm gonna burn it later and do this whole little thing. And so it's just, to your point, just honoring who you were, who you are, and all the things. And so I just wanted to, sound off and reaffirm, a lot of what you were saying. That was a
Oh
lot.
my gosh. I love you're right on point. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. I always felt like when I was younger, I always felt like, and maybe this is a mixture of me being a biracial kid as well.
Mm-hmm.
What's common for them is that they usually feel like they don't really fit in one place or another. So you kind of
Mm-hmm.
have this pervasive sense of like, am I good enough? Do I
Sure.
belong anywhere? You know what I mean? And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that as well. But and I felt that for quite some time. But as you get older and you get out of your comfort zone and you
Mm-hmm.
find your tribe, your people that really just really accept you for who you are, even if you're awkward or shy or like if you don't like to talk
Yeah.
a lot, there are people that are cool with that. You know what I mean? So you just,
1000%.
oh my gosh, you just got to find those people and continue
Yeah.
to put yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Within reason. Don't do anything
Yes.
crazy. but uh,
Yes.
but yeah, you got to just find those people because you never know where those connections will take you. And so, I've been fortunate enough to have mentors and, employers that have,
Mm-hmm.
helped me grow as a person, as an employee, as a professional. And so, yeah, I wouldn't be where I am today without any of those people or those experiences. So,
That's so cool. That's
yeah.
so cool. Well, like you said, we're gonna need more than an hour, okay, to really get into all the things. But to wrap it up in any kind of way that we can, tell the people what projects you have, what you're working on, any ways that they can support you, upcoming events, all the things, so we can get into all things next gen YBP.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right now, what we have on the horizon for YBP is we are looking for new e-board members. So, we are accepting applications on a rolling basis. So, that means you can head to our website, fill out a quick 5-minute application, tell us about who you are and where you're from and what you want to bring to the leadership team at YBP. And once you hit submit, we'll take a look at it. And if it's a good fit, we'll reach out to you. So we are accepting those applications throughout the year. Go ahead and apply. nextgenybp.com. Other than that, we've got a ton of new cool resources to check out. And mind you, it's free to be a member. Let me say that again. It is
Free.
to be a member right now. So if you go to our website, again, you can sign up to become a member. It's right in our Facebook group. We have tons of cool resources for people to take advantage of if you are looking for a job, if you're a job seeker, if you are a professional looking to grow in your career path, if you're a business owner or creative. We have a professional development library, and it's
Mm.
chock full of resources and tools and articles that you can check out, that I have personally put together and curated for you. So feel free to take a look at the full library. It is free. And we also have our job board. So if you are a job seeker, you're looking for volunteer work, you're looking for paid work, you'll be able to see a full listing of any opportunities right there on our site that come in. And these are from employers that value you as a young Black
Mhm.
professional or creative.
That's so
So
cool.
yeah, yeah. And if you're an employer on the other side of it, right? If you are looking for talent that is
Yeah.
diverse and creative, go ahead and post a job posting, post a volunteer opportunity. It's free to do that. So
Hmm.
I would say those are the real immediate things we have coming up, and even right now. But otherwise, we've got events that we're planning. So nothing's been announced yet, but looking into Q3, quarter three, just stay tuned for our announcements on social for our events that are coming up. And we'll keep you guys posted because we have exciting things happening. So,
Yes, that's so fun. I'm really upset I'm not there. It's fine. It's
no,
fine. But I will be as involved as I can from the interwebs, from Beyonce's internet, because I love
thank you.
everything that you're doing, everything you're about. I'm here to support. So thank you, Bree, for spending time with us and our Let's Talk Sis family. Listen, y'all, if my camera is being crazy, I don't know. That's even more of a reason I need you to go to Patreon. I need you to go buy me a coffee. I need you to support this community because apparently I need a new camera. Apparently I need a new camera and I need a new cameraman and I need a production team. All of those things cost. So help your girl. Okay. We love y'all. We thank you, Bree. If y'all want more information, I'll put all the things in the description. Please support. Please go follow. Please pull up. And we'll see y'all right back here next week with another episode of Let's Talk Sis. Bye.